Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another thrilling episode of f0rje Plays Risk of Rain 2. And boy, do we have an exciting episode in store for us today. We have unlocked Multi, the new character. Now, I'm currently in the challenge menu because we want to aim to complete a couple of these challenges so we can start unlocking more items. Big one being increased movement speed. This will have to wait until we complete the engineer or unlock the engineer. 200% attack speed. Charge the teleporter with less than 10 health. You know, these sorts of things need to be completed. So I think we'll keep an eye out for a 3D printer with something good on it. And that way we can print off 7 of the same item. Now, remember, we're playing Multi today, a new character who honestly is not really one of my favorites. He's also the only character that I'm aware of that spawns in without a pod. Now, honestly, the only reason that I don't really enjoy Multi all that much is because he feels so goddamn slow. But, you know, what are you gonna do? What makes Multi unique, he has 2 mouse 1 abilities, which you swap between by pressing R, and he can also hold 2 equipments, depending on what's swapped. The first, as we've seen already, is a high fire rate nail gun. The second is a slow charging rail gun that hits pretty much everything. It penetrates through all the stuff that it hits. Alright, let's go over here. Grab the chest up there. My guess is, if the bridge is in, which it is not, okay, so most likely place for the teleporter is up top, I would say. Yeah, you can see the power of the railgun. Takes quite a bit longer to charge. Generally, swapping to the... Is there like some sort of guaranteed crit chance? The thing about the railgun is that it's pretty... Ooh, there we go. It's pretty inaccurate, so firing at a long range means that you're going to miss most of your shots, and that's something else that I don't really like about Multi. But, you know, we're going to play as him regardless. We've got things to unlock, stuff to do. This isn't just going to be the Commando and Huntress show, I guarantee you that much. But yeah, Multi moves so freaking slow that sometimes I forget that I'm sprinting while I'm sprinting. That's the crowbar. Probably not going to print off a bunch of crowbars. Railgun is definitely pretty good for taking care of wisps, though. So, other than gameplay, what are we going to talk about today? You know, I was taking a shower today, and I was thinking, as I've previously talked about, you know, I've been dealing with some stuff with my mental health, and so one of the things that I've done, which I actually never thought in my entire life I would willingly do, but I've gone on medication for my depression. And it's interesting because being on it now, I've been on it for a couple of months, I want to say. Different medications, trying to pin things down, you know, what's... Oops, that wasn't the button I wanted to press, but, you know, perfect timing, considering he was starting the death laser. M2 is a stun grenade that scatters into smaller stun grenades, which is pretty nice for stunning large groups of individuals. Anyways, so... What... Oh, let's get on the other side of here. Sorry, I will finish this thought. Maybe the middle of a teleporter battle isn't the smartest time to try and talk about non-game things. Yes, hello? I would like to defeat this guy. Oh, man. You know, gotta get back into the groove of things. It's been a few days since I recorded episode 4. I just had some free time today, so I figured I would get to it while the getting's good. Whew. Yeah. Multi does a lot of damage, but honestly, not my favorite. I don't really like how this goes. I don't particularly like much of this at all. We might actually die right here. Honestly, the worst place in the stage to fight a boss. I really strongly dislike when the teleporter spawns up there. But, you know, live and learn. Maybe we'll get... I was hoping we'd get Titanic Plains. That is my preferred starting level. Still no bridge. And the teleporter's up top again. Lovely. So anyways, I've been on antidepressants now for a couple months. Took a little while to find the one that I guess works properly for me. But like I said, my experience having taken them now for a little while is not what I was expecting. I was raised in a household. My mother is very anti-modern medicine. She's one of those... oh great, double jump. That's going to be super helpful. I love Hopu Feather, just not on the first stage. Anyways, my mother is very anti-traditional medicine. She believes in homeopathy and all such things that I just wish she wouldn't, but, you know, not my decision to, or not my choice, what she does and doesn't believe. There have been plenty of fights between the two of us trying to, like, her convince me of her way of thinking and me trying to get her to see the light. Hello, cat. Can I help you? What are you doing? Meow. Don't just come into... Oh, uh-oh. Probably should pay attention to the game. Just come into my office and then meow at me like you live here. So yeah, I definitely had like a cynical perspective on taking medication, specifically antidepressants. I generally avoid, like, the only medication I really take willingly is like aspirin for when I have a headache. And so it was a big leap for me to start taking antidepressants, and I really only started because I felt that my quality of life was deteriorating faster than I could sort of prevent it from doing so. I was starting to, you know, suffer from really bad anxiety. I was having days where I would just stay in bed all day and do nothing. You know, spending the time shooting these guys is not worth it. Although I would like to open this chest, but we can do that right now. Apparently I wasn't expecting that guy to give me the money needed. Will-o-the-wisp is pretty good. Wandering Vagrant, kinda hate it. Gonna be honest. There's like no good place for cover here. What we're actually gonna do is run down here, and I'm gonna range him to death with the rail gun if I can get a line of sight on him. This is gonna be a slow path to victory. He's trying to follow my exact path. Kind of odd. Yeah, because the downside of this is that we're going to have to spend time charging the portal when we come back, but... Okay, this kind of just highlights what I don't like about multi. I just feel like you don't really... Like, movement is so necessary. Maybe I would feel differently if we didn't get the boss up on that top area and then had more room to move around. But regardless, we're just getting blasted over here, and I don't like it. Sorry, my commentary is kind of lacking. I'm focusing pretty hard right now, because as you can see, we're on pretty low health. And Wandering Vagrant is not a boss that you... I mean, look at this strafe speed, man. Multi used to be like one of the best characters in the game from my understanding, and I just don't understand how anyone ever thought so. He's so damn slow. Like, we are 100% gonna die. Yeah, okay. Well, third run's a charm. To be fair, we didn't really get much help from the starting items that we picked up. Maybe we will fare better in the Titanic Plains. And maybe I'll actually be able to finish my train of thought. So yeah, anyways, been on them for a while now. Didn't really go into them with the... I was basically being very cynical about the whole idea. I avoided, even though I was seeing a therapist who was strongly recommending them, I avoided even considering them for a very long time just because of how I felt about it. And now that I've been on them for a couple months, I'm honestly pleasantly surprised. Like, the whole time I've been really kind of paying attention to how I've been thinking, you know, like kind of doing some self-monitoring, and really just trying to like keep an eye on myself. And it's odd, like I haven't noticed a difference. I don't actually feel that much different. I mean, maybe you could see that as a bad thing, like, oh, f0rje, what's the point of taking antidepressants if you're just gonna feel the same? I guess it's a little bit misleading to say that I don't feel any different. It would be better to say, like, you know, it's not like I feel like I'm happy all the time. I don't feel like I'm, you know, jumped up on dopamine at every moment of the day. It's more just like, I still feel like myself, you know? And that was something that I was worried about not, I like, losing out on, I guess. It sounds dumb when you put it like that. But it was a concern that I had. I was resistant because of the horror stories that my mother told me, even though, you know, I don't believe what she believes. That kind of ideology worms its way into your brain when you're told it constantly from a very young age. I also feel the need to share with you that I just discovered there's a hole in my sock, and I am very displeased. So yeah, I guess my point in bringing this up is... Well, so like I said, I don't really feel all that different, but when you ask my fiance or our roommate about, like, hey, how do you feel f0rje has been since he started taking these meds? To them, they say it's like it's night and day difference, if I can try to get my thoughts out there. Like, they were shocked at how much my, I guess, condition has improved since I started taking the medication, which I find fascinating, because like I said, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference. Lots of drones here. I really would like to get some damage upgrades. You know, you would think that multi's high rate of fire would mean... Oh, that is beautiful. Actually, honestly, that's what I wanted more than anything else. Was just movement speed. You would think that with multi's high rate of fire, you know, every on-hit item would just be broken, overpowered on him. And I mean, it's Risk of Rain, so, you know, items are broken, overpowered pretty much on everybody. But the devs at Hope, who did have the forethought to reduce the proc coefficient, which is like the chance or how often something can proc on this character. Okay, you know what? I'm not worried about fighting. See, the damage when you have room to sort of move around and you're not constantly swarmed by enemies, because there's only like 2 feet to spawn, the damage is real. We do have to worry about... Also, having this movement speed from the goat hoof is definitely helping a lot. Let's go over here. We have to worry about cover for the flashbang attack, but I may just jump off the ledge when that happens. Oh, here he goes. Yep, I'm just gonna jump off the ledge. We're probably gonna dip right out through the portal the moment we finish up, because movement speed is pretty slow, and I don't think I saw that many other chests that we could possibly swap to, or we could possibly open up. I think we picked up most of the ones that I saw. So, you know, I get glimpses of Multi being a really strong character in, like, these moments when you're clearing a crowd and you drop the AoE stun grenade and, you know, all that jazz, but... I think if he had just a higher base movement speed, I would like him a lot more. But it's hard. As an individual who really, really values movement speed, it's hard to get on board with a character whose base speed is so low. Okay, let's get out of here. I mean, even with a goat hoof upgrade, the sprint speed I still feel like is slower than Commando's base sprint speed. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story there for my antidepressant happy pills narrative is, you know, it's best to keep an open mind. Not necessarily about medication, because, you know, you may not suffer from depression, you may not be considering medication as a solution for mental illness, so on and so forth. But I guarantee you, especially in the state that the world has been in these last few years, you have been recently confronted with opinions that you probably wouldn't want to agree with right off the bat. You know, something that challenges your worldview. And I think it's natural human nature for us to kind of just push those things aside. This is the second time that I've done this, forgetting that you can't jump while using the sprint. So I guess I'm just trying to say, you know, keep an open mind. There are always two sides to every argument, and just because something is blatantly wrong, I mean, you know, take anti-vaxxers. You know, just because something is blatantly wrong, people find these incorrect opinions because they look at an existing problem and draw the wrong conclusion. I firmly believe that. And so it's always, I think, worth your time as a way to expand your own worldview and better understand your own existence, to, when someone confronts you with an idea that you don't believe, even if it strikes you as ridiculous, to at least seek to understand why they believe what they do, because you may find that, you know, you were the ignorant one and they're correct. You may also find ways to, you know, confirm that you're correct and they're wrong, but also, you know, maybe help them see the correct path. Of course, keeping in mind that there are plenty of issues in which there are no right or wrong answers. I was really hoping to get something off of that. We need to zerg the boss. That's a fat joke, thinking I'm gonna pop the Shrine of the Mountain, though. I don't exactly want to fight two bosses right now. I still am feeling pretty weak, and, you know, 2 gasolines and a banner aren't exactly making me feel much better there, shop. You know, I want to pop this, but I just feel like I need something stronger. What is that? We need something more. Is this... Ooh, okay. I am 100% gonna play the shit out of this. I don't care what it takes from me, just because I would much rather have healing slugs than 2 command banners, that's for damn sure. Okay, hit me with it again. I mean, sure, you can take all of my damage dealing items, game, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. One more. No, not the goat hoof. Ugh. I guess I should have been a little less greedy and just stopped at 3. At least we got Tri-Tip Dagger, so we have some chance to deal not just base damage. Although, like I was talking about earlier with proc coefficients, of course they drift apart immediately. So basically, the way proc coefficients work, as it's been explained to me, say Tri-Tip Dagger has a 10% chance to proc. A proc coefficient of 1.0 means for that character or for that item, because items also have proc coefficients, you get that full 10% chance to proc. If your proc coefficient was 2.0, instead of a 10% chance to proc, it would have a 20% chance. If your proc coefficient is 0.5, it's a 5% chance. So on and so forth. To counteract the fact that... I'm totally going to buy this attack drone, by the way, because we need the extra damage output. Okay. To counteract the fact that Multi's nail gun has such a high rate of fire. I mean, look at this, it's obnoxious. Hoppu gave the attack a very low proc coefficient, so I think it winds up being around the same procs per minute as having, like, compared to, like, Commando or something. So I hate this. Yep, let's dodge. We really need to, again, be close to cover. We're taking a lot of damage. Normally you can beat this sort of damage by just moving and strafing, but without a goat hoof, Multi is so slow that I'm just getting hit by all of these attacks from the Lemurians. That's what the lizard guys are called, by the way, if you're not familiar. Okay, there's that. Let's stay back here. I know it would be super unfair if the Wandering Vagrant's AoE attack also damaged the mobs that are spawned on the teleporter event, but man, it would be nice. Okay, this is not great. We just need to stop taking damage for long enough. Oh yeah, look at our cautious slug regen. That is a lot of healing. Okay, not gonna Zerg through the teleporter right away. I think there are some items we can try and find. And while we do this, I'm gonna check my text messages because my phone has been blowing up. And who knows, something important could be going on. You know what? Never mind. I get trolled by this hallway every time we're just going through the teleporter. I don't want to waste any more time here. Actually, okay. Recorrection. I'm going to play this shrine that we played a couple times already. That's 3, 4, 5. Okay, Monster Tooth Necklace. Not really what I'm asking for. Not going to farm up an extra 30 gold just for that. God, I really regret playing that, playing that 3D printer the 4th time and losing the goat hoof. Alright, one sec. I have to text my fiance. Okay, back to it. We're gonna try and avoid those sorts of interruptions again. Please give me money. I always find that it's like super helpful to pop one of those shrines like right at the beginning of a stage if you see one. There's a greater wisp that spawned. Yeah, I think it's one of the things that has become a great tragedy of modern society, is how social, like, not how we as a generation, I guess, probably starting with Gen Xers, people who really like Gen Xers, millennials. I don't know what the people after. I'm a millennial, so I don't really know what the post-millennial generations are called, because I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. But, you know, the rise of technology in our communication, social media. I'm personally not a huge fan of social media, which I think is pretty ironic considering I'm playing video games and posting them on YouTube. Ooh, that's really good for bosses. Shattering Justice makes it so that you deal like 400% increased damage to monsters. Not monsters in general. I think it's just bosses. I think only bosses have armor. Is that a... That is an overloading golem. Okay, we're gonna try and take this guy out quickly. Oh, this is perfect. We should be getting our stun grenade come off of cooldown just fast enough that he can never shoot us. Tell you what, I'm not loving all these Lemurians that have just suddenly spawned, but... Okay, get me out of here, please. Teleporter's right there. I think this is a great spot for... this command banner piece to spawn. Ouch. I would love a Will-o'-the-Wisp to deal with these large crowds. That is not that. Man, we just move so slow. I am forever gonna complain about that when we play multi. I'm never gonna stop complaining about it. Normally when you're playing Commando, as long as you're moving, and I guess this goes for every other character, not just Commando. I just say that because Commando was the character that we've been playing most recently, I believe. That was... I really did not expect to stay on the bridge there throughout that entire section. Anyways, what I was gonna say is when you're playing as Commando, or Huntress, or any of the other characters, I find... Yes, please. We have a fuel cell, which means we get 2 activations of Rocket Launcher. And a reduced cooldown. So our damage has gone up pretty significantly. I think we need to pop the teleporter before this gets more difficult to deal with. I mean, I think we're already kind of in a pretty bad spot, all things considered. I would also not mind a second equipment. Give me something good. Okay, I didn't even hit it. Oh wait, no, I did hit it. Milky Chrysalis. Haha, good joke. I said good equipment. But yeah, anyway, so with Commando, Huntress, other characters that actually have speed, you know, that you don't have to fight for. Oh no. Hold on, we need to deal with some of these guys. Like, we're gonna get hit by every single one of those volleys from the Clay Dune Strider for sure. Okay, I was hoping that I'd be able to pop Milky Chrysalis and hop around and continue to do that. Oh boy, this is interesting to say the least. Although I think our AoE damage from Stun Grenade is going to be enough to clear out a lot of the monsters that he's feeding on. Okay, good. That could have gone a lot worse. Honestly, I've talked trash, talked a lot of trash about, hold on, we need to get out of here, I need to pay attention real quick. Oh great. Actually, Chronobobble's really bad, but I also kind of feel like it's not the worst right now, just because our speed is so low. I do wish that it was more than just a movement speed decrease. If it was like movement and animation speed, or movement and action speed, I think it would be a lot better. Okay, so we dealt with that. That could have gone way worse. I talked a lot of trash about the banner. What is it actually called? War Banner, okay. Talked a lot of trash about the War Banner. As usual, there are clutch situations where it has carried us through. Just like with the other item that I was talking trash about the other day. Of course I cannot remember because I have a terrible memory for these sorts of things. I think the Daisy, when we like almost died. Okay, hold on, we need to, let's make sure to keep popping our missile launchers on the regular. I love how Multi holds the fucking hammer in his hand. Really hoping to be able to charge a little bit longer than that. I want that lunar coin before we go anywhere. Please don't let this result in my death. Okay, lunar coin. We are gonna do... I really want to do a quick lap, but I don't think it's a smart idea, honestly. I think we just need to keep moving, because we're already at the 21-minute mark. It'll take me, like, way too freaking long to do a lap around this map. We just need to get gone. But yeah, we had a run with the Daisy. I was trash-talking the heal on the teleporter, and then in that very boss battle, it saved my life like 3 times. So you could say that I have no respect, I guess. I am shocked that that worked. Oh, please. Actually, this isn't as good. This isn't as good on multi as it is on... Oh, frig. Alright, we need to deal with this. So I do believe that armor is not just on bosses themselves, but is also found on, like, boss monsters when they spawn as not the boss. So, like, this Magma-Worm, for example, I believe has armor. Honestly, I couldn't tell you for sure. Okay, we need to get off of this before we die. We are probably gonna die from fall damage. Yep, okay. Well, ripperoni on that one, boys. Hey, at least we unlocked the Stone Golem log. Honestly, progression on multi is gonna be slow and painful, I think. Let's check how close we are to picking up Engineer. You need to complete 30 stages as Engineer? Or to unlock Engineer? 30. Alright, well, we're a little over halfway. So, thank you very much for watching this episode of f0rje Plays Risk of Rain 2. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. It helps out quite a bit. Also, subscribe. I'm trying to record these far enough in advance that we will have an episode every day while I've got free time. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.